Hello and a very warm welcome to the beautiful tiny little town of Crafers, which is located in the lovely Adelaide Hills region. We've just got off the T840 bus, which travels between Adelaide and the nearby city of Mount Barker. All very easy. I think it only cost me $2.40 and yeah, only took about half an hour. From here in Crafers, there's a park and ride bus station that you can connect to other bus services in the region, such as beautiful Harndorf or up to the Mount Lofty summit. The bus that goes up to Mount Lofty summit is only 3 times per day, however. So the plan today is to take the Crafers to Mount Lofty walking trail. It's 4.9 kilometres up there. They say it takes about 2 hours or so. So we're going to try and do that today. So take a really nice hike up through the Adelaide Hills up to Mount Lofty. And then, yeah, I'm going to plan to take the bus back down to Crafers, where then I can get another bus back into the city. Here's a rather cool, crisp day here in Adelaide. Quite cold indeed, only about 12 degrees in the city. So expecting it to be really cold up on the summit. We're currently at about 500 metres altitude up here. The summit of Mount Lofty, which I think is the highest point in the Adelaide Hills, is 710. So it's going to be quite chilly up there. So without further ado, let's get cracking now. Only got about 2 hours to get up there to ensure I can get the bus back down in time. Then later on this afternoon, we're flying back to Perth on an old Tiger Air Airbus A320 for Virgin Australia. So really looking forward to that flight review. Before we head to the trailhead, just a bit of information here. So yeah, you could just take the road straight up if you're short for time. It's probably going to take about 50 minutes or so walking. You also go to the Mount Lofty Botanic Gardens over there as well. Pity I don't have more time in Adelaide. I could spend a whole day up here, but it is what it is. I've got to fly back to Perth tonight. So without further ado, let's head to the trailhead and do this lovely walk in the Adelaide Hills today. Alrighty, here's the start of the trailhead coming up here by the looks. Looks like it's a mixed use path for both cycling and walking. I believe the Adelaide Hills is very popular with mountain biking, so you may come across some mountain bikers. There's the Crafers bikeway, so I think it's pretty good for BMXing up here as well. So that sign didn't make too much sense, but according to my maps, we're just here on the right hand side. Alrighty, here is the start of the Lofty Crafers Mount Lofty Summit Trail. 4.5 kilometres from here. Looks like straight ahead is the Pioneer Women's Trail. So it's currently just gone 12 midday exactly. The bus is back down at 1:45. So we've got absolutely not too much time to spare. So let's get cracking. Over the gate we go. It's going to be important that I follow the signs very carefully here so we don't get lost. Yep, looks like we're on the right track. So far so good. We're on the trail now. Pretty easy walking thus far. Well, I heard it can be quite steep towards the end, and it's generally speaking quite a moderate sort of walk with a reasonable amount of fitness required. So we'll see how we go, but so far so good and already warmed up quite nicely. Alrighty, let's have a look at the signage carefully. 4.2 kilometres to go, so we're still on the right track. Absolutely vitally important I get the directions right today, because I really got no time to spare. So Adelaide is really one of those cities I really like for its absolute natural beauty. The city centre itself, it's probably not as exciting as Melbourne or Sydney or something like that. But what I do really like about Adelaide, it's quite similar to Perth actually. It's got really amazing beaches and coastline, and it's also got really amazing hills. The Adelaide Hills region, the mountains up here are probably about twice as high as in Perth, so they're indeed quite steep. Plenty of great things you can do up in the Adelaide Hills region. Obviously you can hike up Mount Lofty, or you can just drive up there, get the bus, whatever. You can visit Mount Lofty Botanical Gardens, that looks really nice as well. Explore a bit around the historic town sites of Crafers and Stirling. They might be little town sites, but they are, for all intents and purposes, still a part of the Adelaide metropolitan region. But a nice little escape from the city centre nonetheless. Or of course you can visit historic Harndorf, which is probably Australia's most famous German town. Got a lot of history there with German immigrants. So really cool history there. Lots of German restaurants and pubs. So a very cool place to spend a day there as well. Have been there before. Won't be able to visit today, but I'm sure I'll do a walking tour there for the channel on another occasion. The bus I got today, the T840, that's every 15 minutes on a weekday, so that's really good. That will get you to Crafers Park and Ride, where you can then walk up Mount Lofty yourself. Or if you get your timing right, you can obviously get a bus as well, all the way up to the summit. But yeah, that bus, the T840, goes all the way to Mount Barker. So over there I see telecommunications towers, so I dare say that's a fairly good likelihood that's the summit of Mount Lofty over there. So yeah, probably only about 200 metres or so of elevation gain. But yeah, it should be a really nice walk nonetheless. A little bit of cloud cover around. The weather forecast was a slight chance of a slight shower in Adelaide. I dare say it would be a higher chance up at Mount Lofty. So hopefully you don't get rained on, but I'm prepared in case we do. Just looking at the phone, we are physically 3.2 kilometres from the summit. So yeah, if I was to potentially bail out now and take part way of the road, it would only take 55 minutes. So good to know there is a few exit points on this track. If you do run out of time or you just want to take the easy way up, good to know there's a few exit ramps. So far so good with this road, very much a shared fire trail sort of track. Pretty easy thus far. Alrighty, here's another sign. Let's have a look at it carefully to make sure we're still right on the track. According to my interpretation of that sign, we need to veer to the left. So I'm guessing this is possibly where we leave the fire trail behind for a more defined bushwalk. Yep, so the track is now a walking path, so it's going to get quite steep here now, I believe. So beautiful day today here. So yeah, it's a Monday morning. Seems pretty quiet up here. Haven't seen too many other people yet. I'd imagine it gets very busy on the weekend. So beautiful scenery here. Certainly a bit greener than probably the Perth Hills at the moment. They are really, really parched. We basically had no rain over autumn whatsoever. It was still quite warm all the way into early June. So I'm guessing they've had a bit more rain here in Adelaide. Looks really beautiful. So filming this hiking tour today on my trusty GoPro Hero 10 Black. Got my Rode microphone set up, all connected to it. Do have the DJI Osmo Pocket 3 now. That's a really cool gimbal camera that I acquired recently. Bought it for my recent trip, and because I went to Singapore, I was able to claim a tax refund on it, so that was really cool. The results of the DJI Osmo Pocket 3 have been very impressive indeed. Great for indoor filming, low light conditions, all that sort of stuff. Fantastic for walking tours as well. If you are vlogging and that sort of stuff, it does produce a very cinematic effect. Sometimes I like that effect, sometimes not so much. Personally, I rather the in focus of the GoPro, however, for most of those situations on the go. So yeah, just as I use the GoPro today, a little bit more versatile for hiking. The Osmo Pocket 3, it's an amazing camera, but it's got no waterproofing. It's got no real resistance or anything. GoPro can take a few bumps and knocks. If it does rain, you can waterproof it as well. Obviously, you need to get rid of the media mod. So yeah, just using the GoPro today, but might get the DJI on 5 once we get up to the top. Get some great views from there. Just seeing one mountain biker go by, so yeah, this is definitely a really great place for mountain biking. Unlike most times when I go for hikes, especially when I was up in Kununurra of all places a couple of days ago doing the Kelly's Knob Lookout hike, it was 35 degrees there, so overheating is always a constant issue on the GoPro. But yeah, I think we should be right today because it's only about 8 degrees at the moment. Just checking my phone, we're now 2.3 kilometres from the summit of Mount Lofty, so 40 minutes away. That would be including to take an exit point onto the main road. So probably still going to take probably double that, I'd say, taking the track. So another sign here, we're 2.1 kilometres to the trail, I believe. That's roughly what it's saying on my phone as well. My phone's saying 2.2, 39 minutes. But I'm pretty sure that would include taking part of the main road. So I think we're going to need to probably allow double that time to get to the summit. But I think we're making good progress nonetheless. Alrighty, we've got another T-junction up here. My phone's saying to go right, so we'll see how we go. So yeah, 2.6 kilometres now to Mount Lofty Summit, 2.3 kilometres back to Crafers. So that would make sense, 4.9 kilometres in total. So we're almost halfway now. Wow, spectacular views over there. You can see the city, you can see the coast. How amazing is that? If you have noticed a little bit of a humming noise coming from the microphone, I do apologise. This is a bit of a common issue with the Rode wireless mic when you hook it up with a 3.5mm cable. Another sign here, Mount Lofty Crafers Trail. It is getting dark here, so the slight chance of a shower looks like it could have very well eventuate. Alrighty, not too much in the way of signage here. Let's see how we go. So yeah, it would really be a beautiful place to live up here in Adelaide Hills. As with any area that's heavily forested in Australia, however, you really would have to worry about the risk of bushfires during the warmer months. So that is a major consideration in considering to live up here. You'd have to take extreme precautions to protect your property. So yeah, we're making good progress on our hike up Mount Lofty today. Really do get the feeling there's no exact defined track up here. There's just lots and lots of different tracks and fire trails. They all eventually meander their way up the summit of Mount Lofty. So yeah, I think there's plenty of different ways you can walk up, and you can also mountain bike up as well, so that's really cool. I can see we're coming up to the main road now, up to the summit of Mount Lofty. So I guess once we're here, there's either going to be a track I can continue taking, or we're just going to have to take the rest of the road up. Does look like possibly the weather's closing in. The slight chance of a light shower looks like it could very well eventuate. Not the end of the world, however. I have brought a waterproof bag in case it rains. And just like that, I was considering just taking the road up the rest of the way, but it does look like potentially the trail follows along the side of the road. So yeah, with the road in sight, really can't go wrong, I don't think. So yeah, definitely a bit muddy this track. Not overly challenging, but yeah, a bit slippery nonetheless. At least you've got the road over there in case you need to bail out. So yeah, 1.3 kilometres to the summit now. Alrighty, another T-junction here. Pretty sure the trail continues straight ahead though. Wow, absolutely spectacular views out over there. You can see all the way out to the coastline. Here in Adelaide, if you are staying in the city, you can take the tram out to Glenelg. Very easy to get to. That's probably Adelaide's most famous beach. Glenelg is probably the equivalent of Perth's Qantas Beach. Very beautiful white sandy beach. Very lively place as well, with plenty of restaurants, cafes, bars, nightlife, hotels and various leisure attractions. So yeah, especially in the summertime, if you are staying in Adelaide, absolutely a must-do thing, get the tram down to Glenelg. So far so good with today's walk. Really hasn't been any challenges whatsoever in terms of both difficulty and also navigation. It's only about 1 kilometre to the summit now. The road is very close by, so I know where to go if I get lost. But yeah, thoroughly enjoying it today. The really great thing about Mount Lofty is its accessibility, so huge well done to the South Australian, the Adelaide Public Transport Authority, whoever runs their public transportation network. It's really easy to get to Crafers and indeed the Adelaide Hills region. There's a park and ride interchange there where you can take buses to elsewhere in the region. They even do have a few direct buses that go all the way up to the summit as well. Really actually appreciate that, because so often in cities in Australia, some of the national parks and, you know, recreational areas, the hills, all that sort of stuff are really not accessible if you don't have a car. So really tricky for tourists to get to. So another intersection coming up here. So yeah, really cool here up in the Adelaide Hills. Plenty of different tracks you can take. So if you are a local and you've got lots of time, you can take different tracks on different occasions. But yeah, the summit's still straight ahead. Overall, pretty well signposted, the Mount Lofty Summit Walk. Alrighty, I was getting a little bit concerned we weren't going in the overall direction of the summit, because Apple Maps isn't very reliable. They don't really do walking trails, but I chucked on Google Maps and it looks like we're still about 13 minutes away. So still on the right track by looks. Nice little cottage up here by looks. So that's a pretty cool cottage there. Not sure if it's used for anything these days, but yeah, beautiful historic little cottage there, and amazing views over there. I think we better continue to the summit. Alrighty, Mount Lofty summit straight ahead. Cleland shared use trails. Could definitely come back here another time to do some more walks for sure. So here it looks like we've got several different ways that you can approach the summit of Mount Lofty. There's this tube trail there, that's 1.3 kilometres. I think there's going to be another way over here that's going to be a bit quicker however, so we should take that one. $400 metres that way via Waterfall Gully and Mount Lofty Summit Trail. And here we've got a walk through the Cleland Wildlife Park via the Stube Trail, 2.5 kilometres. So it's a no-brainer which route I'm going to take to get up to the summit, considering we're so time poor. So this looks like the most steepest part of the walk today. At least it's on a proper footpath, so that's alright. But yeah, quite hard work walking now. Oh, I only got 400 metres to go, so that's pretty cool. Coming up to the main road now. So here's the main road now. Let's cross the road. So almost at the summit now. You can see the lookout and the telecommunications tower. So nearly there now, maybe 10-20 metres. Alrighty, we're pretty well at the summit now. Here you can continue for 3.8 kilometres through the Cleland Wildlife Park. And then yeah, the waterfall gully track. It's 4 kilometres back the same way as we came. There's a discovery walk there as well. Maybe one to do if you come up in the car to the summit. And welcome to the summit. We've finally done it. Looks like there's a cafe and a visitor centre there, so you might have time to get a snack. Really cool lighthouse up here as well. Over here we've got our Summit Cafe and Function Centre, and we've got our visitor centre and a gift shop. So I think I've timed things pretty well. We've got half an hour or so until the bus will pick me up. So just perfect timing. And just like that, welcome to the beautiful, spectacular summit of Mount Lofty here in the Adelaide Hills region of South Australia. Really fantastic little walk this morning coming up to the summit of Mount Lofty. Said it would take about 2.5 hours, but I did it pretty comfortably in about an hour and 20 minutes since I left the Crafers bus interchange when I got off the bus. So yeah, really enjoyable walk today. Moderate level of difficulty. The only real steep part was at the end, the last 400 metres or so, but at least that was on a proper footpath, so that was really good. We've now got about half an hour until the bus will come down to take us back down to the Crafers bus interchange, whereby we can then get another bus back into the Adelaide CBD. So really timed it quite perfectly, I think. Definitely if you're visiting Mount Lofty, definitely recommend you do the walk up there one way or the other. Maybe walk up and get the bus back as I did, or maybe you can get the bus up there and then walk down yourself. Either way, really good options. Otherwise, yeah, if you are reliant on the bus, just take note it's only 3 buses a day. But yeah, you can certainly take it up both ways. But yeah, if you have enjoyed today's hiking tour up Mount Lofty, I certainly have enjoyed it. Really appreciate it. Do give it a like, leave your comments down below, share amongst your family and friends. Most importantly, whatever brings you to my channel, my flight reviews, destination content, walking tours, aviation stuff, whatever it may be. If you do enjoy it, please do consider subscribing to the channel, clicking that bell or notification button on so you won't miss the next one. This has really inspired me to do some hikes in the Perth Hills region when I get back, so I look forward to doing that as well. But in the meantime, you also visit my website, AussieJetSetter.com.au, for latest and flight reviews, industry news, destination guides, frequent flyer hacks and more. Maybe check out my dedicated AussieJetSetter Instagram page and AussieJetSetter Shorts channel as well. Plenty of good short form content covering what I'm doing around the world in real time there. Maybe even join my dedicated Discord server for fans and community of the channel. But from here at the summit of beautiful Mount Lofty, thanks so much for watching today's hike up to the summit of Mount Lofty. Really hope you enjoyed it. I certainly know I have. But until the next one, safe travels wherever that might take you.